so many ways to be the change you want to see. I hope that when you're watching Wave 3 News and you hear us over and over giving you the number of those infected and then those who have lost their life in this pandemic, that you remember they are loved by someone. They're part of someone's family. Dr. Rebecca Heiss and Dr. Dermot Jevons certainly remember that. They created a website called MourningAmerica.org, and Dr. Rebecca Heiss joins me today. You know, we talk all the time to try to remind people that these are thousands of people that we are missing. What made you and Dr. Jevons come up with this idea?
Yeah, I think we're all feeling this helplessness, this sadness, this overwhelming isolation and lack of community. And for us, this was the small thing that we could do. We could put faces to these numbers. We could tell their stories. We could invite people into this community where we could share and celebrate and mourn together.
I think one of the worst parts about it is we hear of these people we have loved and they're alone. Families are not able to come in and mourn. We're not able to gather and celebrate their lives as we normally do. And you don't want them to just turn into dust and disappear.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly why we created this nonprofit, is to make sure that we are emphasizing that as we're seeing these numbers rising and rising, that we remember that these are grandparents and parents and children and uncles and aunts and beloved members of our community, and we don't want to lose those people behind the numbers.
So how does the site work? It's an interactive site. It's a free nonprofit. You've got more than 1,500 victims there now. What do we do?
Yeah, so there's really three things that we were asking people to do. The first is, if you have lost a loved one, please consider sharing their story. If you go onto the site, there's a simple submission button at the very top. Click to share their story. You can share a picture, you can share remembrances of them, and then they'll be uploaded onto our site where people can comment, community members can come and remember and share their stories as well. If you haven't lost a loved one, if you're lucky enough to not be immediately affected by this, please share this with people who may have, or share it on your socials, or any way that you can help us get the word out so that we can build this community together. We want to reach people who need community now more than ever.
What are you hearing? And I'm looking at these pictures and I am getting chills when I see all these wonderful people that we've lost. What are you hearing from the families? How is this affecting them?
Yeah, honestly, and it gets me emotional too, because we do feel like we know these people now as people. Some of the comments, some of the families and the stories that we've seen. Margot. I'm immediately thinking of Margot, whose family talked about how tough she was and how she could drive a stick shift like nobody else, and she would eat a bite of dinner and tons of chocolate. You get to know these people as people, and the outpouring from the community of people that have submitted their loved ones are saying thank you, because we feel so isolated. And when we see other pictures, when we see and a space to share together, to have the community comment and tell us more about our loved one, it's a special place.
I'm not sure if you know the answer to this, but this is just what comes into my mind when I feel the emotion from this website. Do you have any idea what it does to our hearts and souls when we're not able to be with the people, we're not able to say goodbye? I can only imagine that feels heavier than 10 billion tons.
Yeah, I mean, as a biologist, that's my background. And I think about how social we are as humans and how desperately we need that connection. And so this is, again, our small way of saying, let's find this connection in a time when we have to be isolated, in a time where it's our responsibility to not be interactive in other ways to keep others safe. And yet losing a loved one, not being able to say goodbye. We have stories that have been submitted with, nurses holding up the phone so you could say goodbye to your loved one. I mean, I can't imagine. I have a grandfather right now in a nursing home, and we just got yesterday a news report that 35 people in that nursing home have been diagnosed with COVID, and it's heartbreaking and terrifying, you know, on a personal level, to be thinking about these outcomes, and then thinking of these victims and their families not being able to be there. From a psychological human perspective, it is just devastating.
All right, I just want to let you know how much we appreciate you all for doing this. We've only got about 30 seconds. Can you one more time just tell people to please share the people that they love?
Yes, please. If you know somebody, if you've lost somebody, we would love for you to experience the community, experience the healing on mourningamerica.org. Please go share their story. Tell us who you've lost. If you don't have somebody, if you're lucky enough to have not lost somebody, please go on, share the site. Um, the more people that we can have building and contributing to this, the more important the more important it'll be for those who have lost.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rebecca Heiss, founder of MourningAmerica.com. From my heart, I say thank you for all of this world. God bless you.
Thank you.
Again, I will put this on my Facebook. I will share it as much as I can and even try to do a story so we can get everybody on this site. Please.